What's up, YouTube family? I'm back at you like I'm mad at you. But how could I turn my back to you when you're showing up, right? I'm glad for you, man. I want to make this video for any of you who out there, man, in your mind a little bit. If you're feeling like, you know, you may be a little distracted by or discouraged by things that happen in your life, man. Disappointments, right? What we rather call displeasure, or just things that didn't go the way that you may have wanted them to go, things that may have led to just a lack of motivation. You know, maybe it's something that you have been experiencing in life that caused you to be a little lackadaisical, meaning, lacking that spiritual motive, fire, right? What is it that you may be dealing with, but maybe you can't identify? Do you still feel ambitious, on fire? Do you still feel determined to succeed? Do you still feel determined to reach your zenith in life? And I want to speak on a few things that may draw your attention to significance and motivation, and why motivation is so important to everything that you may have been through, right? And in the way that you see in life or feeling about life at this moment. So when we think about motivation, family, I want you to look at the word motivation and see that the key word to motivation is the motive. The key word to motivation is motive. You have to have a motive in order to be motivated. Hear me what I'm saying. Back in the day, they used to say, I don't know if you guys still hear this sometimes, but they used to say, keep your eye on the prize. Keep your eye on the prize. I like to say also, keep your prize in your eye. Because your prize, right, is like that motive. For many of you, if you've been heartbroken in different relationships, it could be with your homies, your friends, your partner, right, your family, different relationships could have been your motive in life, right? That could have been your motivation, and that which what gave you the fire in your butt to get out here and do and strive for what you were striving for. That family, right? Those partnerships, those relationships of many kind could have been your motive. And if those when those relationships go awry, right? They go south, and your heart is broken, or you find yourself displeased in these situations, in these relationships, then what happens is sometimes you can lose your motive and your motivation. Hear me what I'm saying. Sometimes those relationships of many kind are the reason for the lack of motivation, because that relationship in itself could have been your motive. It could have been your prize. Many of us, we strive for what? We want for our families, for our friendships, for our, whatever these different relationships are. Even for religious folk who were committed to the church, right? What we call the Christian church, or could be a Muslim who were committed to, the temple, right? The family in the temple. And then they find out some things about these different sectors, right? And these different branches of religion and these different specific sections that breaks their heart. And then they feel like, what do they have to fight for any longer? What do they have to strive for anymore when they feel disappointed? Remember, I told you, you don't want to be disappointed, because disappointment causes you to miss your appointment, right? So don't be disappointed, but when something displeases you to the point where you feel like, maybe I don't even have that spirit no more. I don't have that desire, that determined desire or determined ambition anymore. And many of times it's because maybe a relationship in your life, be it your family, your friends, your partner, your religion, right? Could be many things. Could have been in business. Maybe it went south. Maybe some relationship was broken and also therefore had broken your motivation because it had taken from you and your from your perspective unknowingly taken your motive. So ask yourself, if you lacking motivation today, if you lacking that fire, if you're missing something, right? If you feel like you don't have that same umph no more to go out and achieve and accomplish and be determined to do so, could you have lost your motive through or via a broken relationship? Key word to motivation is motive, family. So I'm telling you today, word for the day is keep the motive. Keep your prize in front of you. If you have relationships that have broken, and maybe these are the things that you strive for, right? Maybe these are the things that you really did it for because you felt like this was what life was about. If these things had been broken and maybe these relationships could have went sour, find yourself a new prize. Many times, Most High God is calling you to higher heights, right? To higher levels of desire. When we were young, when we were childish, we had childish desires. Many of us wanted cars, homes, clothes, wanted to be able to attend the biggest events, go on vacations. But there's so much more to life than those little things. Those things are enjoyable. They can be enjoyable and they have their part to play. But it is so much more, right, that the Most High has in store for us. 25 is about reaching higher. And there's so much more the Most High has in store for us than just these mere things. And maybe many of you have been allowed by your own choices, because you chose these relationships, you chose these situations, but many of you have been allowed to go through what you went through so that you can reach higher, not to give up. When those situations went sour and you feel like, well, I ain't really got no reason to keep pushing over pushing no more. And the fact of the matter is, the Most High is calling you to go higher because it was meant for us to go higher than those mere things in the first place. It was meant for us to get past the level of just those things, right? It was meant for us to reach higher than just those things, those vacations, those vehicles, those homes, those whatever it was. And so maybe it is good that we learn from these broken, displeased outcomes, right? In some relationships that cause us to lack the motive in our motivation so that we can reach higher. What I'm saying today, family, is I want you to start thinking on reaching higher. What is a bigger prize for you? Let your goals expand in 25. Let your goals expand in 25. I'm sure that it is something for all of us, maybe a much bigger goal that will excite us all over again, that will give us that fire again, right? That will give us the motivation that we need, thus giving back to us a motive. Motive also, in definition, deals with being motion, movement. So a lot of us sometimes have lacked that movement, that motion, because we lacking the motive itself. See what I'm saying? Because that motive puts a fire in us that attracts to us as well, because it ignites at a certain thing within us that's genuine, because we want this so bad, because we want this so good, right? When we're lacking that, right? When we lacking that motive, we can find ourselves lacking that motion. So just, a thought for the day, family. A thought for the day, man. If you're lacking motivation, if you're feeling lackadaisical, if you're feeling like you lost your spark, could it have anything to do with any past relationships, be it business, family, religion, friends, right? And if so, if the past is to be left in the past, give yourself another motive. Put your eye on a bigger prize, family. I always let you know, I want you to know as well that we here together, man. We in this together, man. You hear me? We in this together, man. And we do not surrender. You hear me? So just a thought to the next video. Peace, positivity, optimism, power and abundance, water.